So let's talk about the face mask order. Like,
Sure.
what does it cover? Who does it cover? Who's exempt? Because I saw the order when you released it, it had a couple of like different rules and
All
regulations
right.
to it.
So what it covers is your nose and your mouth.
All right.
That was a joke, not a
Okay.
joke.
Okay.
But you're asking about the jurisdiction or the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it covers all of Jefferson County. I'm the Jefferson County Health Officer. So it did say in that order that at the time it was given that any pre-existing order in Jefferson County, it would still stay in place. So that of course referred to Birmingham, the city of Birmingham, which already had an order or an ordinance in place. So I didn't want to disrupt that ordinance.
Okay.
However, if and when that ordinance expires, then mine would take over for the city of Birmingham as well. So it didn't trump the city of Birmingham. It would just fill in if that becomes a void. So, but otherwise it's countywide. And in terms of the specifics of the order itself, it's the main thrust of it is that it covers all businesses and venues that are open to the general public.
Okay.
So if you enter one of those businesses or venues that are open to the general public, you must wear a face covering. And, you know, it doesn't mean you just wear it to get to the door and then you take it off. Obviously, it's that you must wear it while you're in that building, and it's for indoor spaces of those venues. Okay, so that's one of the main features, and the other is for transportation services, buses, paratransit, taxis, and rideshare programs like Uber or Lyft. The driver and the passenger needs to have a face covering on. And, you know, because that in my view is even more potentially of a concern than a building, because you're in a very close space with somebody else confined with, you know, in the summertime, the window's probably up and you're also circulating air from the front seat to the back seat, et cetera. So that I think is very important. And then it does not apply for outdoor spaces, except where you might have a situation where there are 10 or more people gathered together who are not from the same household, who cannot social distance or cannot keep that 6-foot distance. So that's the main thrust of it. And then there's a long list of exceptions that I put in there. I was trying to be very careful not to overreach too much with this, because I knew it was controversial. I didn't have total buy-in from our community. So I was trying to be careful, you know, not to infringe on people or inconvenience people too much more than necessary. So let me just mention a handful of those exceptions. One is a very important one for children under the age of 2. They should not wear a mask. It might be a hazard to them, like a choking hazard.
Okay.
It's optional but recommended. It's recommended for children 3 to 8, but we leave that up to parental or guardian discretion. Okay. But then age 9 or older, everybody's required to wear one. Now there's obvious exceptions for people that just can't wear one. Maybe they have bad lung disease and it actually makes it a little hard for them to breathe. Or, you know, there's some people that have mental health issues or something that just makes it real hard for them to do that. So there are exemptions there for people that have certain medical issues or disabilities. We left schools out of this. That is pre-college schools, like our high schools, elementary schools.
Okay.
And the reason I did that was just to allow the schools and the school districts to make their own decisions, because that's kind of a complicated area. Like, what are we going to do with our children in school? And I think there's a balancing act there too, trying to help our children get back to normal as much as possible. So I wasn't going to mandate that all the children in school have to be wearing face coverings all the time. That may be a good idea for some ages or some circumstances, and we'll advise the schools on that, but I didn't want to mandate it. I also did not mandate it for places of worship, although, and I was just trying to be careful again, because it was so controversial and unfortunately had become so divisive. I let that sort of quote unquote religious freedom, and there is real, I didn't want to, let me back up. Quote, I don't mean quote unquote religious freedom. We have religious freedom, but the church versus state kind of questions. I do believe I have the authority to order churches to do certain things in a public health emergency, and I did before. You know, we basically closed churches to 10 or less people, you know, there for a while, which meant most of them did not meet in person. So I had the authority to do that, but again, because this was controversial, I kind of left that alone. But let me just say, in no uncertain terms, people that are going to church need to definitely social distance. They are required to social distance under the current statewide order. And I would strongly recommend, and in my order it says this, I strongly recommend that people in churches or other worship settings wear a face covering while you're singing, while you're all reciting something together or praying out loud together, because that's a dangerous time when this germ can be spread. And then maybe wear a face covering when you're coming in and out of the building, where you're more likely to, you know, just get close to other people. But maybe while you're sitting in the pews quietly with your family, and assuming everybody's separated appropriately, families are separated by 6 feet, then I think it's fine to take off a face covering so you're not having to wear it that whole time. But I do want to emphasize churches, because church settings and other worship settings do worry me. And we have there are many cases across the country where a lot of people, we did have outbreaks that occurred in churches and where people died as a result. So I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but I just wanted to put a punctuation mark on that one. There are a few other exceptions we made, and just if people want to read that order, we put it on our website at the health department. It's on the face page. It says click here. You can click and go directly to that and see for yourself what it says. And I would like people to sort of be aware of it. But it's all right there. And that website is jcdh.org, Jefferson County Department of Health. Just Google it and you can get to it real quick.
All right. So,
do you know what's happening in Birmingham? Find out now with the all-new What's Happening Birmingham app. Download today on Android, iPhone, and iPad for free. Get info on everything you need to know about local news, events, businesses, restaurants, and more. Visit our website, what'shappeningbirmingham.com, follow us on Twitter at HappeningBham, or call us at 205-538-4508. Download the What's Happening Birmingham app today. What's Happening Birmingham, your source for everything Birmingham.